Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome to our Treasure Planet server tour. Now, this is our first server tour, and to give you a bit of information about what the Treasure Planet season is all about, it's all about creating strange ships and a pirate sort of theme that's going on. You'll understand it more as we tour some of the bases, but the idea is we're kind of building ships that look like ships but are not ships because they can fly. If you've seen Treasure Planet, then you'll know what this is about. So we've got this cool skull looking design here at Dash's base to first go off. Look at that, it's got the teeth and everything, complete with some little turrets, and he looks like he's got a cigar. Is this a cigar? This is added detail. Lovely. They've got some production systems, and they've got some boats and a lighthouse over here. Lovely little lighthouse, deterring people from hitting the rocks. Over on this ship, they've got themselves a solar sail, completed with these doors, and we have got a few mods running, so you're going to see some ship parts as well. That's quite cool indeed. Coming down here, we have ourselves a police boat, a little mini fighter, complete with tiny little cannons on board of it. Then coming into this area, we've got another normal little craft. These smaller ships are always good for small fighter engagements. Now, something that's really cool about this Dash base is have a look at this one. This is actually a seahorse. So you can see the seahorse with the sails attached to the side. More of an organic, and it's in this red sort of shiny silver colour. Very cool indeed. Continuing working forward, we have their main central hub. So this is their production centre. We'll have a quick tuck inside here, complete with crates, cargo, everything you'd usually expect from a production hub. Over here though, we do have another unique craft. This is of course a sea turtle. So coming over here, you'll see the sea turtle itself. It's got his little head, its little legs coming out to the side. Very cool indeed. And over here we have another one of their larger ships. When I say larger, these ain't super large to what we're going to be seeing today. So let's get a bit of a move on. So we're actually moving over to AGN next. So AGN here, Imperial Guard Commissioner. Or Commissar, sorry, Commissar. I keep calling him Commissioner in all the videos and he hates it. I'm so sorry. So what's really cool about this particular outpost is if we look up there, you'll see that this spotlight patrols the perimeter, making sure that no pirates breach this facility's walls. So very cool indeed. A little wall that wraps around a few turrets. We've got a few smaller ships. This is kind of showing what the possibilities are for a smaller faction. And they've got that central tower there, and underneath is a cool little room with a fire pit, some nice little details, and then of course production is tucked behind that. So a good example of what a smaller base could look like. We'll have to see what Imperial Guard Commissar builds next. Finally got it right, yes. Let's continue going on. So moving on slightly from AGN, we're going to scroll ourselves down to FPS. Now, FPS have been on our server for donkeys now, and they never fail to disappoint with their builds. Of course, they've gone with another lighthouse design. We'll turn our lights on a little bit here. I would turn it today, but for some reason, things on the Treasure Planet map never seem to look as cool as they do at night. But look at this giant galleon they've been building in this dry dock. They've got multiple sails all cornered up and looking absolutely stunning to the eye. They've got this wooden hulled ship, complete with cannons at every interval possible. You can't miss an opportunity for some cannons, can you? Coming inside here, we have a captain's cabin with a control seat protected in here, and then of course we have the lower decks of the ship. Lovely. That is a real cool design. You're going to see much more sort of designed like that as we continue on. So coming into their production area, they've got themselves these little fancy sort of construction areas. Some of them are just, of course, just for looks, and if we took inside them, look, there's just cargo containers in this one. Nothing too crazy. This one's an empty one, I do believe, waiting for some parts to be shipped over. We've got the plant alpha, so I'm guessing this is a power plant. Yes, with two coal-fired engines, some probably reactors hidden somewhere around. And then they've got their production hub there in the centre. Up the hill, they've got their fancy little cabin with a cooking area, spare respawn points, and a little office on the second deck here as well. Very cool indeed. Let's continue on. So from FPS, we have next in the list HGI. So let's scroll ourselves down, and we're actually going to be looking for, let's just go to the booty call. Oh, the pirate memes that have been flowing on this one. I tell you, it gets bad at sometimes. It's like pirate memes and dad jokes got on the same aeroplane. So over here at the HGI base, we have even more insane things being constructed. Of course, we have another giant, I believe you call them galleons. Correct me in the comment section if they're not. This is a galleon of some kind. And you've got this little mast area at the front where players can stand and go, oh, a ship ahoy, or whatever they wish. They've got, of course, cannons littered down the side of this thing and a few more masts there. I don't know if this is still in construction because it's still in the dry dock. They've obviously got a dry dock down there as well. Got some cool little buildings on their dock. They've got something that looks a little bit more heavily armoured and fortified as a small fighter. Coming into here, we have the current grids that they own, HGI, and a little production building, I believe, or is it a little chill out area? Either one or the other, and they've got half of a ship here, so I'm guessing this has either been taken from an event or it's still under construction. Coming up into this area, they've extended their hangar further. They've got like a little construction area with construction type ships and vessels in here, and then the second deck they are still working on building it. Coming down here though, we also have these cool little ships for a little bit of fighting and battling, and these got down-facing cannons as well, so you can bombard from above. Very exciting indeed. Tucked inside here, they have their extra vessels, of course, and some smaller vessels as well, so that they can fight on a small ship level when they go out as a pack, if need be. So a really cool little outpost there by HGI. So next up, we are going to JRI. So another faction with an I in its name. And we scroll through the list here, we'll try not to miss it. There we go. We are going to the Barnacle Barry. And of course, Barnacle Barry is going to be owned by Wrath. There is a few others, I believe, in this faction. I don't believe he's going completely solo this time. So as we come over to this area, notice this really cool ship that's got this giant skull head on the top half and then a rib cage running down the back of it. Quite unique and different, definitely fitting into that Treasure Planet vibe. You've got that wooden hull of the ship underneath as well, complete with plenty of cannons. Over here we have another sort of galleon, but what separates this one from the others is it has this cool sort of curved back, and I believe you see this on a lot of Viking ships with these like curved back areas with a bit of added protection, I guess. You've got them cannons and turrets in that lower area there as well. And as we come over into this little section, you'll notice something really cool. What are these? These are actually parrots, parrot fighters. So of course, if you're a pirate or any man who has a ship, you need of course a good talking parrot. So why not talk with lead with some Gatling guns and cannons under the wings? So these are quite cool. They've got two of these here docked on top of their little market area castle. Up here, another cool little skull design here. I think this is like a skull barbecue pit with a little bar and whatnot at the top there. Very nice indeed. Another really cool little base as well. So moving on from there, we are going to MAF. MAF. Scrolling through the list, checking for MAF. There we go. So Tim is behind the MAF base. Now this is not necessarily a base, but a mobile base to a degree. So this is another sort of galleon, but I'd say this is more like of an ironclad type design because it's got this top protection on it as well. The wheels of course drop down and this ship can sail across the ice lakes of the Treasure Planet. It's obviously got some thrusters in here as well just to keep the weight on the ground a bit lower so it can travel a bit more efficiently. Well, this is a fully fledged mobile base with everything you'd need for a complete crew. It's lovely detailed. And it's just super nice to see a different take on it. Someone going with a rover of designs. Of course, with a rover like this, you may need a few more turrets to fend off the flyers. But still, a really cool design. Nice work there, Tim. So, moving on, we are going to the Treasure Planet Port. So, the Treasure Planet Port has been nicely constructed by Storm and a crew of, I think, would I say admins and moderators in a previous season. So, inside here, we have the Treasure Planet Port. Now, I believe that this is going to be used in future events as a trading point or a place for events to begin or return to. So you've got the jailhouse, you've got a big sea shanty church with a picture of a very suspicious looking pirate there, or maybe the finest pirate you've ever seen. You've got the store, of course, complete with general supplies that any pirate would need. We've got the Thirsty Scots Tavern, and we all know who's behind this one. Mr. Comrade, definitely. Coming over into this area, we've got some houses, we've got barrel storage, and we've got the place that all ports need, the Salty Seaman. That is definitely an interesting location to visit while you're at the port. Up at the back, there's a few more buildings, and if you have a chance to play on this server, then I'll let you visit them for yourself, so there's not all the surprises done. So, from the seaport, we are heading to RAB. So RAB, what have you got installed for us this time? RAB always have some wacky creations, and what we've noticed a bit more recently is they seem to be using their small ship tactics a little bit more. So that is their little dockyard at night. Let's light this up, like so, and have a look what they've got here. So they've got this giant port with a skull behind it. They've obviously got an organic king here, interesting. So look at this galleon of some kind, all created out of wood, plenty of cannons, plenty of turrets there. They've got a locking mechanism, so maybe they can board other ships and lock onto the side of it. They've got a little seating area at the back, complete with turrets, and they've got an upper cabin as well. Yep, they've got an upper cabin with a captain's chair. Cool little flag design on the back there as well. That made out of small ship blocks and then attached. And then, of course, it's RAB, so they've got a variety of small fighters. That one's quite cool, modern looking. We've got these little skiffs, I think they call them skiffs, little tiny ships that they use to fight and cause some trouble. I like how they've changed the orientation of some of these sails here to add a bit of detail. And then coming up into this section, they have got some of their processing type mining and refining ships. They've also got this one with the red sail up here as well. This one looks like a kind of a medium class ship. Oh, it's got little welders on the side to keep the turrets operational. That's a cool little idea. And coming down here, we've got half of a ship. So I'm not too sure if this has been captured from an event or this is something else. Coming over onto this side, they've got a little market / town area on their seaside area, seaside town, and they've got the Holy Church up there as well. Not to forget this giant skull once again at the back, and a lookout tower over here, so you can see people approaching the base on the horizon. Some cool little features there, really nice little base. So let's continue on. So from RAB, we are going to have a look at RIP's base. So scrolling through, we're going to try not to scroll right past them. We have RIP. So RIP have been hard at work building this small outpost here. So this is another one that you could expect of something that a smaller faction would build. They've got this cool little, it feels like a small sea animal. I could be wrong. If whoever's built this one wants to comment on the video and tell me what it's built after. You can see there's a little doorway access there. There is even over on this side a little hatch that takes you into the rear. The interior of this one's really cool. It's all wooded out. You've got buttons that turn various different things on and off, and you've got these wooden corridors that lead you through the ship and to the little bridge area tucked inside there. Over here we've got some more of their smaller little fighter tank crafts. Look at the cannons tucked into that. That's some serious firepower. And then, of course, we've got their little maintenance hub in here behind these doors. A very cool little base. Great work there. Let's continue on. So we are moving next down to see our RSB. So RSB is Cajun. We all know Cajun. He likes to build his steampunks like gothic designs. Let's try not to go past him. Here we go. Port Royal. Okay. So let's have a look at Port Royal. What has Cajun been working on this time? Let's get ourselves a little bit of light on the party. So Cajun has now joined our moderation team as well. He's yet to have any of the powers on the server to do so. But he's been hard at work building all these creations. Look at that. Look at this ship. This is a beautiful galleon. We've got wood, we've got the cannons, we've got these giant sails across the top. And of course on top of that we've got the whole port facility. That looks like he's got a castle. He's got some like little dock buildings. Very sort of classic time period pieces, these. Very nice. It looks like medieval engineers and space engineers came together for this particular build. A lovely little location. I don't think there's anything interiorly built into these at the moment, and he usually stores all his production underneath here while he's building. Lots of monitors going under here. It's like Big Brother. You can see everything that's going on in the city above from all these screens. So there you go. There's RSB's base. Oh, they've got a cool little... Oh, wow. They've got multiple decks here. It's like a skyscraper of ships, this particular one. What's going on in here? Oh, that's just a deck of cannons. Let's continue on. So from RSB, we are moving to TRK. Now, I always fear going to TRK's base, and I'm sure Ruffletron will be laughing himself away with this one. The reason I fear going to these places is there's always something weird and wacky here. So we'll see if they have done something strange and wacky at this particular one. It's actually looking pretty normal for the moment. We have got this really cool windmill that looks like it rotates to keep the windmill in direction of the sun, but sadly Aaron's been rotating the sun, hasn't he, so it's not quite in sync at the moment. You can see they've got this cool little red ship on the deck there, still under construction. They've got a second one under construction in that dockyard area. They've got a few small maintenance crafts. And what are these? These are like little bunkers, I'm guessing, for cargo containers. Yeah, they are. So a really cool base by TRK. Nothing too crazy this time, apart from that windmill. So I expect something more crazy when I come back to this one. So we're going to head over to LWI. So moving to LWI, we have the LWI miner, and we have their base attached to it. So this base designed by Callum and Callum's crew. Let's get our admin menu up and get our sun rotating over here. So they've got an inner castle type compound. They spend most of their time and resources building this facility. They've got the tower, the building itself. The building currently is just a production yard inside there. And they've built this ringed perimeter of defences that I'm guessing they're going to try to turn into a wall that runs around the place. Still a lot of work left to do, but a real cool design to say the least as well. I wonder if this is going to be like a little docking area so ships can fly in and out of the top. Very nice indeed. So let's go over and see what Gramps has been up to. So over from LWI, we are going through the no zones. We are going past the rest of the RAB creations, past the rest of the all of this stuff. We are looking for Gramps. Where is Gramps? Here we go. So what's Gramps been working on? Or Grandpa Jeff? Let's have a look at this place. I'm probably going to be upside down, losing my orientation. Okay, so we have got ourselves a giant... Is this what I think it is? Is this a giant dinghy complete with ore? That is pretty damn cool. That's unusual and it's fun. Oh, it's a rover as well. Wow. Well done, Gramps. This is real different. This has caught my attention. I like this. So a giant rubber dinghy rescue raft ship. Imagine that coming over the horizon. You get killed by a little rescue rubber dinghy. So back to our admin menu. Let's turn the sun up so we can have a look around. Of course, Gramps has been busy building a few smaller ships too. He's got a 3D printing welding system up there. And then we've got a few other utility ships tucked into that section. So a smaller base that looks like it's been focused on building this big rubber dinghy. But the thing with this rubber dinghy is it looks like it could even have a bay in the middle for transporting fighters and other ships. That I think's it's cool. It's something totally different. You'll have to let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. So moving on from Gramps, we have NBS to go to. NBS, how are you guys doing down here in the lower sections of the list? So we have the NBS airship. We'll head to that one, and hopefully that'll be attached to the rest of the grid. I can already see that someone has left a projector on in here. Something we'll have to be having some words about. But what have NBS been working on? So coming to the lower section, it looks like they've got some sort of plunge miner type rover completed with a docked miner. There, we've got this like seafort over here with some little hangars for the utility ships. I'm guessing underneath here is going to be refinery and production. Yes, I didn't guess wrong. Oh, they've got this really cool feeling labyrinth of tunnels and maintenance shafts under there. And it looks like they're building something completely different. They've gone with like a submarine style ship design. They're cool. That's very different. Yeah, so like a giant floating submarine or a battleship of some kind. Got the projector left on that one. They've got some medium style ships up here, and they've got another docking area / turret section in that area there as well. Very, very cool indeed. Nice to see some different style designs. I want to see that one flying around and battling. Let's go over to SWI, the final base we'll be visiting. So the final base we'll be looking at is, of course, Shay's. Now, Shay has been hard at work here building something very, very crazy. So let's go and turn the light on. So what have we got going on here? We have a strange sea monster of things going on here. I think this one's probably going to require an explanation from Shay, to be honest. You have to let them know exactly what this is in the comment section below. But you've got different antennas, or not antennas, what they're called, legs of this sea monster coming up. That one's grabbing the sail of a ship. The other one, this is a cool like little sea snail rover. That's cool. That's awesome. And then the rest of these have little turrets on. Oh, that one's grabbed a cannon off a neighbouring ship. That one's ripped off some sort of mast or some sort of thing from a ship as well. Really cool. I really like that. Oh, they've got little rowing boats down here as well. Little cargo rowing boats travelling around, not getting eaten. And up here they've got some dog heads perhaps attached to the side. So this is probably one of the most unique ones we've had on the server. And this one's got a big force claw. And up here is the blueprint of a ship. That looks like it's taking shape in the arm. So Shay's working on that currently. Wow. What a beautiful creation. Something really cool and weird. Very nice. And what we've got attached up here, well, because I can see we've got that sea snail on that end. We've got this little guy. What's this? Like a little shrimp. Maybe it's a little. It looks like a little shrimp of some kind, perhaps. And if we go inside, what have we got going on in here? Oh, so we've got like a little med bay. We've got production down at the bottom, by the look of it. Of course, keeping with these organic colours in here. This is one hell of a unique design, I have to say. Very cool indeed. Can't wait to see this one finished when it's got that little ship in its hand. And we'll wrap that one up here. Let us know in the comment section which was your favourite creation you've seen so far from our Treasure Planet world.